But I have to confess to you guys something, right?
Hello YouTube and welcome back to another top 10 video. We are back once again and this time we've done top 10 worst Mario Kart tracks just before Christmas, but now we're back with the top 10 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks. Now that all the DLC, the updated one, because we did this about, I think the last one we did was just after Wave 1, and I believe Mount Wario / Moo Meadows won.
I think Mount Wario won and Ninja Hideaway was second, I think. Moo Meadows technically won in the video because Ditto read one of the lists wrong.
Yeah, so someone sent me their list the wrong way round, so I did the maths wrong. But so technically, Mount Wario was the best track way back when. But today...
it was Mount Wario, then Ninja Hideaway.
Yes, those were our top two. But today we are back. We are joined by, as you know, Jack. H is here as well.
Hello!
And we're also joined by our special guest. We're joined by Mr. Alcrest is here as well to talk all things Mario Kart.
I'm ready. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it. And of course, you can't, talk about the best without, Anyways, let's start.
So we asked, so I basically asked everyone in my Discord server who has played Mario Kart on stream for their lists. And we got, I think, 17 lists.
Okay.
I'll tell you who, so you can. Obviously, you got me, Melissa, Baguette, Newbie, Lanky, Fowler, Nath, Molly, Monsuno, Hawks, Foss, Sprangle, Alcarez, Jack, TK, Menno, and H.
Hello.
So it's a very broad list of different
Extensive list.
Apparently, you can ignore my list again.
Yeah.
I mean, we normally end up ignoring your list anyway because, again, your opinions are always unhinged.
So there are 96. Yeah. So there are 96 tracks in Mario Kart 8 now, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
We got 66 tracks were nominated for this top 10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So only 30 missed out.
Probably most of my list is some of the ones that weren't in the top.
So as always, we'll go through the top 15, but I'm gonna quickly do some two honorable mentions, the two tracks which just missed out on our top 15. We'll talk about it very briefly, but they both got 18 points, so just missing out. So we've got a lot of points this time. But the two tracks just missing out on our top 15 were Mushroom Gorge and Shroom Ridge.
Mushroom Gorge and Shroom Ridge.
That seems fair. I think they're tracks, but I wouldn't count them among the best in the game. Personally speaking.
Yeah, for me they're like top half for me. But
they're good tracks, but they're not like the best tracks. You get what I mean?
They're fun tracks, but also visually they are very much early booster course paths. They don't look as great as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think Mushroom Gorge as well. I mean, it was a big fan favorite on Wii, but I think it's not as good on Switch as it was on Wii.
No.
And I mean, for me, Shroom Ridge is quite reasonably high up. I put it about 18th. And it fixed all the problems I have with Toad's Turnpike because that's just a figure of 8. And it's also got a bit of semi-closed circuit feel. It's there's some bits where you have to go close to the walls, and if you hit the wall face on, then you've got to try and gain momentum again. Whereas also you've got the open sections as well.
Yes. Hayes has done extensive research or an essay on every single track. So
most tracks, most tracks.
Which is why
I've got opinions on.
Which is why I got their list literally 2 seconds before I pressed the record button.
You did.
So to kick things off,
my cunning plan was to try and make it so Ditto didn't know the top list until last minute.
Yeah, that was it.
That was part of the plan, but then I just got so distracted I didn't finish it as well.
But so we move on to joint 13th place. We've got 3 tracks.
Of course. 3
tracks joint in 13th place. All of them are DLC tracks. They're all DLC tracks. All got 24 points. We're going to talk about the track that came first in the DLC in life cycle. But the first track in 13th place was, in fact, Coconut Mall.
Okay.
Got 13th place, 24 points. Which was the hype track of Wave 1. And I understand why people enjoy the meme of Coconut Mall.
Yep. it's got
Yeah,
some.
I'm glad it made the top 15 somewhere because it's a pretty iconic track.
It's very iconic
It's-
track.
Honestly,
Banger
would
music.
agree with that, but like it's not as good in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as it is
It's in
back
Wii.
during
No.
Wii. Though, like it's
Yeah.
very much a toned down version,
Of
to
it,
be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
I mean,
I wish
I-
that the cars. I know that they fixed the cars so they move. I wish they moved the same way they did
In the
in
Wii.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Vision.
the
Yeah.
thing that annoyed me with that is in Tour, when it was in Tour, they moved exactly the same way as it did on the Wii, but then when they moved it to 8, originally they were static, which was annoying,
Yeah.
and then they fixed it, but it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah, not
basically
the
you know
same.
where they're gonna go, but you know sort of a path to avoid both of them. Whereas if they just go back and forward, it's a bit more difficult to get round it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also, yeah, I think just you've been coconut mild. It's just like,
yeah. I accept
Yes.
that. Though.
and the
Yeah,
music.
it's
You
still,
can't go wrong with the music as well. So
yeah, music's great. It's still an iconic
Iconic track.
track. Like, I love that. I always like the tracks where you go inside buildings and stuff, and you've got different you got a couple of different routes in there and stuff, which is fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm glad they brought it back because I think if they had this booster course pass and not brought it back, I think there would have been riots in the streets.
yeah,
So-
probably. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
That's why it's still so iconic. Like, just whoever got the idea for let's get Mario Kart and make him drive through a mall. I think that person should get a raise over at Nintendo.
Literally,
Yeah.
Mario Kart lore does more for the Mario world than the actual main games do. I want to go to Coconut Mall in a Mario game. I want to go to. I want to China Airport. I want to go to all these places.
What they
Yeah.
Odaba.
what they should do is when they've got Nintendo World, have one of the shops as Coconut Mall.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great, actually.
Yeah. Just have all their shops in Coconut Mall.
Yeah, they've all different themed shops in Coconut Mall.
Yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, join with Coconut Mall.
Okay.
Another DLC track. It's a tour track, I believe, / new track.
Okay.
Yoshi Island.
That doesn't surprise me the slightest. I remember that track getting revealed, and everyone's just going crazy.
Yeah.
We already knew that it was going to be coming. I was actually following a lot of the tour data mines at the time, since most stuff that every single track that is in the Boost Scores Pass is also in tour.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, there might be a Yoshi theme, and I mean, there isn't a better way that they could have executed this with the flower bridge at the end. You're pretty much going through the menu, the Shy Guys on the stacks,
Yeah.
Poochie's on there, like you caught the entire vibe, and it's pretty much one of those tracks, kind of like Animal Crossing, what is it, Hyrule Circuit,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much like those tracks, and it's really cool in my
Yeah,
opinion.
they got the vibe spot on. I love the I love the stuff having the flower bridge and that at the end, which just adds a bit of
Yeah.
extra to it. It's really good track. I think I underrated it a bit when I did my list. I think it probably would make my top 20 if I sat down and thought about it.
Yeah. It's definitely up
Yeah.
there because I feel like it's one of
Really-
the
really
stronger new courses in the game.
And
I'd say.
It kind of when they revealed it, it kind of makes you wonder why we haven't had a Yoshi's Island track until now. I know we had good stuff, but Yoshi's Island, why is this the first time we've had a Yoshi's Island
track?
course?
Yeah.
Good definition.
Dude.
It's about time.
So true. And it's even crazier that this was the first new Yoshi track since Yoshi Falls, I believe, for Mario Kart DS,
yeah.
which is crazy. But it's so good, so it definitely was worth the wait,
It was worth the wait,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And I mean, I definitely agree with the bridge because it's it is a bit like Hyrule. You have to hit the right block for the bridge to kind of appear,
Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
kind of do the inner line, and as well, it's really fun track with loads of different. There's similar corners as the quite long ones, but they make it so different and make it work so well.
Yes. Compared to
Especially when you go up the hill.
This next track, someone in this call had first place.
I guess it's me.
What was that? Sorry.
Someone in this call had this track first place.
Okay. Now, what did I say was my first place? I need to actually find the list that I sent you so that I know for my own reference. Because if it's
I
well, actually, I
somewhat feel
already know what my
probably
first
me.
place is. To be fair.
it's a DLC track, it's a tour track, it's a city track.
That's probably me.
Okay, yeah, I know what it is.
It's Singapore Speedway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why is it so low? This should be higher, man. No, just
I
kidding.
I
agree.
am so glad that it's not what I thought it was, but that
Yeah.
might be lower. Don't know.
I agree. This should be higher. I think I had I had this third place for me.
So between you and Alcruz, it got 18 points. It got 24 overall.
That's
So,
wild.
so the two of us are the reason it's here, basically. Otherwise, it would have been an honourable mention.
Yeah, it would have been. You
I don't
chose-
want to be that guy though, but this track is like I wasn't expecting it to be this good when it came from Tour, because now people were like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, Singapore Speedway." But I have to confess to you guys something, right?
Go
And I'm
on.
pretty sure I only really told Monsino this at the time, but when this track first came out, like for the first like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe for like the first month it came out, every night after I was on streaming or after I came home or something, I would play this track for a minimum of an hour to 2 hours. Like this might be one of my most played tracks. Like the only reason it's not is because I played a lot of the base game,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
such a good track. Like it's so beautiful and like such a thrill to play through, dude.
It's so good. It just looks amazing, and I think the thing is, a lot of the tour tracks, like I like them, but like
Yeah.
you're kind of just driving through a city. This one actually does something really different. Like you
Yeah.
actually like got all these like like high speed like kind of like roadways and stuff,
Yeah.
and you've got like the gliding sections and like it's just I wish that the other tracks the tour tracks did similar stuff to this one, because it's just
Yeah.
for me it's the best tour track by a country mile. Like the others, it's way better than the others. Like big gap for me.
It's definitely
Yeah,
top.
it's-
The city tracks definitely.
So agreed. I feel like a lot of them also like blended together because most of them are like at daytime. Like if you look at pictures of Amsterdam, Berlin, Madrid, London, Tokyo. Like if you look at like, pictures of those all next to one another, you won't be able to see which one's different because they're all like the same type of day where it's just daytime.
Yeah.
This one is nice at nighttime. You got a few others that also look different, but that's a nice thing about this track as well.
That just let you go really fast as well.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
And that kind of brings me to one of my underlying thoughts that I think they should add to the next Mario Kart and have like each track and a bit like how Animal Crossing is, where it's like different seasons, but have it so sometimes it's daytime, sometimes it's nighttime, stuff like that. Make it all the tracks a bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have kind of like little variations where like it's even if it's just like background stuff, or it just looks different, like maybe like depending on like the time of day that you're playing, or like
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
random chance.
Yeah, because I
Kind of like the Animal Crossing track,
you
and,
got four
or
different, yeah, because I don't think there's not much like different to the track, is there? It's just like the
No, it's
background.
just it's just the background.
Yeah, on Animal Crossing, yeah. So that could happen in Mario Kart 9/10, whatever they want to call the next one.
But apparently, the next Mario Kart is the most expensive game Nintendo have made. Apparently, I don't know how true this is.
Where did you hear this?
I don't know how true this is, but there's quite a few rumors that said it was like an expensive game to make.
I mean, I don't want to go off track too much, but like outside the booster course pass, if you look at base Mario Kart 8 from 2014, that's still one of the best looking Nintendo games of all time. And that came out 10 years ago, so
Yeah.
So what they've
It'll
done
be really
next
cool.
is
Like even without all the updates it's got, it still holds up.
It still holds up. So those who are collective in 13th place, Yoshi Island, Singapore Speedway, Coconut Mall. We on to 12th place, the standalone track. This track was in the base game.
okay.
This track is a Mario Kart 8 track,
Okay.
and it's Sunshine Airport, 25 points.
Ooh.
Oh, Sunshine Airport. Okay.
Now, when I saw this, I think, really? Like, I like Sunshine Airport, but I don't hate Sunshine Airport. But
I think it's one of the, like, if you look at like the 16 original like new tracks Mario Kart 8 made, I think Sunshine Airport is one of the better ones out of those. But I think at this point when you got 96 tracks,
Right.
I think it would be again. I think it'd probably be in the top half, maybe like top 30ish for me.
Yeah.
But
It wouldn't be like...
I'm surprised it's that high to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it comes
Yeah.
about 27th.
like when I picked up the game for the very first time, I was like, this track is really cool. Like the music is still really good. Like it really holds up. But I don't know
Yeah.
if it's like the or something that just kind of makes this track sometimes a little forgettable because after
Yeah.
like all the DLC waves and such,
Yeah.
it kind of feels like it's been forgotten.
Yeah.
But like I don't know what the reason for it is because it is still really fun.
track.
I think it capsulates like the idea of driving through an airport. It's kind of like the same thing like we were talking about with Coconut Mall.
Well,
Like there's so
yeah.
much potential there, and it did a really good job that outside like the weird platform in the sky, which kind of felt out of place to me.
Yeah.
But it's really cool though.
Yeah, I think they did that a lot in like the original like new 16 tracks for 8 because they just
Yeah.
had random like anti-gravity bits just to show off that the game had anti-gravity,
in it.
even if it didn't fit in at
Didn't at
all.
all.
But yeah, I think Sunshine Airport's pretty good. Again, out of like the base game tracks, I think it's one of the better ones. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like
it is. I think nowadays it's a little bit forgettable, just
Yeah.
because it's like. But then I don't know how much of it is because we've had it for
so long and
almost
long.
10 years now.
Yeah.
And we, like, yeah, I don't know how much of it that plays into it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd definitely agree because it's like it is somewhat forgettable, but if you think about like the actual layout, yes, it's somewhat forgettable, but there's a little bit of variety in there of like the different corners and then having to avoid like the tires around the aeroplane or go through the aeroplane.
Yeah.
yeah, I do like one of my favorite aspects of it is how like the airport's not just background, like it actually has a part in like the different hazards that you're seeing,
Yeah.
like the shipping crates that are getting moved
Moved
about and
about.
having to avoid the plane tires and all that
The
kind of
luggage
stuff.
thing at
Like,
the
I
end
do
as
I do
well.
think I
Yeah.
do like that part of it because
Yeah.
sometimes you'll get a track which like has a theme, but the theme is just the background and actually like it doesn't have any bearing on the track itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Sunshine Airport for that.
I can definitely.
Oh, so agree, dude. Like the whatchamacallit, the potential for an airport theme track. I think they took full use of that by making you drive through under driving yourself or under or through the plane, which was
Yeah.
what I was trying to say. They took from what potential they had and what ideas they could have, and they really did explore the ideas around it. Same with like the little like announcer thingy being like, "Oh, get the terminal this and this," that you hear in the background,
Yeah.
which is just
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
And all like the references of like the different posters and stuff, the place for like different places that you can fly to. Like
Yeah.
it's really cool. Like all the different references to games and stuff.
I can definitely when in the next America, I can see this being one of like the
Sunshine
retro
Airport.
tracks of Sunshine Airport. To be like one of the retro ones they bring back. I can definitely see
Possibly.
Sunshine Airport being up there for one of those. For
Yeah,
sure.
I thought I could see that. One of the like like a Mario Kart 8 track that gets brought into Mario Kart 9. I could see
yeah,
that.
yeah.
happening.
I could. That's yeah.
It is one of those tracks kind of like with Toad Harbor that if you think of Mario Kart 8, you do really think of Sunshine Airport like Toad Harbor. It's
Harbor.
like some of the first
Yeah.
tracks.
Yeah.
Like I think like those two, like Mount Wario, like there's a few tracks that just instantly come to mind
when you think of
the game.
8, yeah.
So,
We move on to joint 10th place with 26 points.
10th, okay.
One is DLC, one is in 8 Deluxe.
Go for 8
Okay.
Deluxe
Do you want the 8 Deluxe one first?
I would say 8 Deluxe.
Okay. It was in 8 Deluxe.
Land right now. I will leave.
It is in 8 Deluxe, but it was technically Mario Kart 8 DLC.
Okay.
Right.
It is a GameCube track.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I had this map second,
Ooh.
so it's not Baby Park. It's
Okay.
Yoshi Circuit.
That come about 19th on my list. It's good.
I put it.
But-
I put it second because the music slaps on Yoshi Circuit. Can't even deny it. I know it's simple, but I like the fact it's shaped like a Yoshi.
Yeah. But that really works though, because like that back section round his head, you
Yeah.
kind of go
Like in the-
corner into corner. It's
in-
like
in the tunnel.
slalom, left and right, left and right.
Yeah, the spine bit. Yeah, like the shortcut as well. I know they got rid of the super shortcut from GameCube, but
I know, and that if that shortcut was there, it would be higher. I reckon. I love that shortcut. The moment I got rid of it, I was annoyed.
But yeah, I really like Yoshi Circuit, and I'm glad that it's one of like the better GameCube tracks they've actually put in the game. Because when we did the top 10
Yeah,
worst,
the
And I didn't mess too much with it.
let's just say when it came to like the base Mario Kart 8, or like before we had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the selection of GameCube tracks they chose was pretty dire. I think Yoshi's Circuit was basically the only really good one they chose.
Yeah.
Actually, unless you like I like Baby Park, but I know some people don't like
Yeah.
it. So.
I like it for the chaos.
Baby Park is more decisive than anything, and you got Yoshi Circuit kind of carry. Desert is just.
Dry
And Sherbet Land, Dry Desert and Sherbet Land are both like the worst GameCube tracks.
Yeah, literally. Like they saved all the good ones for the booster course parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really did.
I mean, like, I like Sherbet. I like the other ones. Well, I like Sherbet Land a little bit.
Yeah.
Dry not so much. Baby Park, I like it for the chaos, but this is definitely up there as the best one before the DLC.
Yeah. GameCube boys anyway.
Speaking of the shortcut, by the way, you mentioned earlier, Age. I think if it had that plus like the Yoshi helicopter, I think then it would be the best version. Still, I reckon
Yeah.
maybe the GameCube version is the best because that's
Okay.
got everything in it and nothing missing.
Yeah.
But visually as well, like we were talking about earlier, like visually this was part of the original Mario Kart 8 DLC, so it's still on par with like the base
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And if you look at like the town with like all the confetti coming out, all the people that are
Yeah.
now feels like an actual town, everything like it's
It looks so
It
good.
looks so
It
good.
does.
exactly.
My thing with this track, I really like this track. My thing with it is I have PTSD with this track because this is Hooper's favorite track.
It is,
and
it
every
is.
time Hooper beats me at Mario Kart, it brings a tear to my eye. And he always wins on this track. No matter what happens, he always manages to win. And I hate it.
Whichever console we play on, he wins at Yoshi Circuit. It just doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
like no matter what, he always wins on this track, and it drives me insane because I love it when I beat him because it makes my day to beat him at anything because he's so competitive.
Yeah.
I think I have this at somewhere like 35 or something, but I can see why it's this high up because it's a really good track.
Yeah.
It's in my top 20, but if it had more of the original stuff, it would
Too probably high.
be higher.
So joint with
Maybe higher
so
up,
joint with Yoshi Circuit is a Wii track.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was in I think one of the later DLCs off the top of my head. It's a snowy track.
Okay.
Okay, I think I know what this is.
I think I know what this is as well.
It's DK Snowboard.
Oh, no, maybe not then.
DK Snowboard. 10th place, 26 points.
DK Snowboard Cross or DK Summit, depending on where you're from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
This
What
is
a track.
This is a really good. This is one of the favorite tracks from Wii. I'm really glad they brought it. But I just love the half pipe ramps everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the wacky. I love the wacky physics that go on when you go up those things.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely love the concept, and I love like you've got the snow lit bits of snow, and you have to either slalom through it, unless you've got a mushroom, then you can kind of go through it.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
It's definitely up there as one of the best
This
snowboard
is
games.
number 8 on my list.
I really like the fact, that this time around there's no Mario statue there, but a DK one. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was called DK Summit back during Wii, but there's just a Mario statue.
Yeah.
The half fights are kind of janky though.
They are very
Yeah.
janky. I find it hilarious
Yeah.
how janky they are, though.
Yeah,
Especially like right near the end, you've got like the one on like the inside of the curve. If you go up that, you just go flying off the map.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awful when you're trying to actually race seriously, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure, but that's not really like a fault of this map. Like they have to bring back half pipe. Before Wave 3, we didn't even have half pipes in Mario Kart 8, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, I hope we get DK Summit." Before I was like, "Yeah, but if we don't have half pipes, we're not gonna get this track because like most of this track is half pipe. Like,
pipes,
that's like
yeah.
the entire concept, I think it's really good visually as well. It's it's one of the stronger ones from the Boost Course Pass.
The point where they actually start trying with the visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The double cut is nice, and I really like that this was the first track that wasn't part of the 4 tracks that always come back from Wii, being Mushroom Gorge, Coconut Mall,
Well,
Cooper Cape, and Maple Freeway, to
Yeah.
come back. Like this was the first one outside those 4 to come back.
Yeah.
Besides the base game Mario Kart 8, which was really nice. Later we got Moonview and Daisy Circuit and Wii Rainbow Road as well. But it's nice seeing something different outside of those 4 all the time.
Wii has so many good tracks, and it was a shame that they kind of resorted to the same one. So I'm glad that they brought other ones like this back.
Yeah.
And Moonview was one of my like really ones I really wanted from Wii. I'm so glad that's back as well.
Yeah.
There's definitely one thing that I think they should add
To what?
to this track,
Go on.
because it's a snowy track.
Oh, here we go. Go on.
Why not have it so that like the different tires you choose are better on different types of tracks? So like the monster wheels will be better on this track because they've got more grip. So change the grip levels depending on the tyres and depending on the surface.
Because then if you do random every time, you're going to build a car which is for a road track, and then you get random, and you're going to get like a desert
but that
track,
causes
and
more...
then you're going to have to go in the track, and you go.
That causes more chaos, and that makes it more interesting and fun.
Oh dear God.
I mean, what I would say is I don't know of how likely that is to happen because it might make the game turn more into like Formula One or something. But I will say that I would, if that happened, at least it would mean that like there would be different metas for different tracks. I think it'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that is really good because it
because at the moment with the game as it is,
it's
like
the same person.
Yeah, because every time I go online,
I suppose this is the thing.
everywhere.
Like as the game is, like the meta is the meta, no matter what course you're on, right? There might be like the few very rare exceptions, but for the most part, like the meta is the meta. But I guess that could be quite interesting. I mean, you never know what they're going to do with the next game. They always find some way to make it really different. So
They do. You never know.
Technically, they don't have that with wheels yet, but for underwater tracks, they do have that with certain cars, though, which is really cool.
Yeah.
They add that to the tyres or do it so that the track comes up, and once the track's been selected, you have like 30 seconds or something to then pick your setup for that track. To do it the opposite kind of way round. And then if that's the case, then it's like a bit more of a benefit.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. But we move on to ninth place. 1 point more. 27.
27 points.
It's another DLC track. So a theme here. Another DLC tracks in the top 10. It's another tour track, but it's not a city one.
Okay.
It can get a bit, if you're a bit dirty, you probably want to go to this one.
Is it pee-pee?
Oh.
Squeaky clean!
Oh, squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean! Sprint. 27 points.
Squeaky clean sprint.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what I feel about this track because I don't like it, but I don't hate it either. But I wouldn't put it.
I mean, yeah, it's an alright track, but there's they try and do different routes in the track, but it feels a bit like Yoshi Valley that everyone just goes
The same way. Yeah.
Like, but most of it is where they've put the separate routes, like just before the finish line, and you have to turn like right to get to those routes. It's kind of so far out that a lot of people don't even know it's there.
I had to be coached to know where to go because I was like, where the hell's everyone going? Where?
Yeah, why am I jumping over and coming down in front of you? Where am I going?
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, like, if we're talking about this track, like, in what other track and what other situation are you gonna get sniped and fall into a toilet, though? Like, just saying, the toilet alone makes it an S tier.
Yeah.
Very true. I've got to say, I do really like the theme of this. Like, I think that's like, this is like one of just like the really like wacky ideas. You're like, what on earth kind of drugs were they on when they came? But I have a confession to make though. This is what, number 9 on our list? Number 8?
Number 9, yeah.
Number 9. I hate this track.
Oh wow.
I
You didn't hear that
absolutely hate
often.
it.
Did you put this in your top 10 worst?
Out of 96, because I ranked every single track, right? Out of 96, for me, this track is at 91.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
crazy.
I hate this track because for me, I don't know why I cannot do this track. Like, I cannot understand where they're meant to be going. Like, it's just, there's so much going on. I feel like an old man when I'm playing this track. I don't know what's going on or where I'm supposed to go. And I keep missing all the shortcuts, all the jumps. I just don't get it at all. I love the theme of it, and I really wish I liked it, but I hate this track so much.
I love the fact how you mentioned that, and that really made me think of the times when this track got data mined. At the time, in Tour was known as Mob BR, which stands for mobile bathroom,
Yeah.
and there were some files added to it like a rubber ducky and such, and everyone was saying exactly what Jack was just saying. Like, dude, what is this? Like, why a bathroom track out of all things?
Yeah, like what drugs are they on?
What a weird concept for a track.
I'm sure that people will tell me why I'm wrong and why this track is so high up, but I can't with this one.
It's PTSD from the last top 10 when we talked about Heart Gold Soul Silver.
The only,
God, yeah.
no, yeah. The only thing that I'd add is to make it a little bit more obvious that you can kind of go a different way and like sort of go off, get items, jump on a mushroom and jump down.
Yeah.
Like that's not
It's a
very
bit,
obvious.
Yeah.
Like make it, if they made it a bit more obvious, then I wouldn't have Yoshi Valley syndrome, is what I'm calling it.
Yoshi Valley Syndrome.
Facts.
Yeah, Yoshi Valley
Oh my
Syndrome.
God.
We've gone up to 8th place now. 29 points, so 2 points more than Squeaky Clean. It's our top most ranked city track on our list.
That's the top track on the list. What?
Top city track. City track.
Top city track.
Top
sorry.
city track on our list. It was one of the first.
Is this what I
ones.
think it is?
It's kind of a meme on my channel now, I would say.
Okay, I think I know what it is.
Yeah, it's Sydney.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Australia, mate.
Australia,
okay.
mate.
No, I put this.
For like a minute, I thought it was going to be Paris Promenade because I know that H probably has that at number 1.
Nope.
I hate had it number
I had
2.
number
You have it up
2.
there though.
I had number 2.
Number
I had
two.
number 2. Sydney, I had number 4. And for
Okay.
me, I like it. I like that you're immediately greeted with a 90-degree corner. With a lot of the tracks in this game, you kind of have to go forward a bit before you get to a corner, whereas this is like instantly you have to turn.
Kind of throws you straight into it. I've always found it really odd, in like a good way, how you have like lap 1 is kind of standard, lap 2 is enormous, and then lap 3 feels like it lasts about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's really, really strange the way they do it. Obviously they're not laps, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the section of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the better city tracks for sure. I really like all the different, like landmarks that they've chosen.
Yeah.
I like that there's so much variety in it. You're not just driving through city streets all the time. Like there's a lot of variety to it. Yeah, but it's one of the better city tracks for sure.
Definitely. And what comes from that variety is like when you're in a city, corners are a lot more tighter. Whereas when you're sort of not right in the city centre in the track, it's like long sort of circuit corners, and that sort of makes a lot of difference, not just having a track that's the same all the way round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this was like the first really good city track. Like before this, we had Tokyo, which felt kind of bland, and like it was any type of city. We had Paris, which is pretty cool, but like only really changed up on lap 3, and for laps 1 and 2 was the same. And New York, well, if you know me, you know I don't like New York Minute that much. And just the variety, the how good the music is, and that actually like those city tracks are just kind of felt like they were maybe a bit on the shorter end. This one, as Jack, I'm pretty sure said earlier, actually feels like, especially on lap 2, it feels quite long.
Yeah.
And just the mix of all of that makes this a really fun track. I feel like a lot of city tracks also lack the opportunity to make a shortcut or to get back into the race, and I feel like Sydney also does that quite well.
Yeah.
For me, when I heard like they did like these little music previews starting with Wave 2 for like how the remixes would sound like, when I heard that, I played it on repeat for like the week before it came out. This was one of the ones I was actually really looking forward to, and I'm a little disappointed Vancouver is not going to be on this list, because that's like outside of Singapore, and this one like my favorite as well. But like this was like the first like really good city track, and I feel like after that it really set the standard for what we came later, because the first few ones played really safe, and this one actually went out there and did different things, as we saw later with like Berlin. You go through like the train station. We had Singapore earlier, which goes crazy. We got like ice hockey and like baseball rings later. Madrid, you go through the Santiago Bernabeu.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and like Los Angeles, you're going on the beach and like all this kind of stuff.
exactly. It feels
stuff.
like what Sydney feels like what the standard is to be, a good city track, not just driving in the street, but actually going somewhere.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't put it on my list because this is when the first game came out, literally chat maybe playing like the entire first stream, like, well, this is, don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. But I was one of those people.
You were like literally everyone went to my chat and said, "We're playing Sydney Sprint. We're playing Sydney Sprint."
I'm sorry. Like, if you compare it to the rest of Wave 2, this was by far the best track that they added.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, because Waluigi Pinball exists, I can't agree. But I was the one spamming Waluigi Pinball, and everyone wanted Sydney Sprint.
Yeah.
So.
Fair, but then I guess those two, because the rest of that wave was like kind of meh.
Yeah, those two were the big ones, but for sure.
Yeah.
But sorry for giving you a trauma, Ditto.
That's fine.
That wasn't part of the plan, okay?
I won't tell Jack where I put Waluigi Pinball on my list then.
It's fine.
It's fine, as I said, unhinged.
So we move on to 7th place. I think 3 out of 4 of us are gonna be sad about this being this high on the list.
Being this high, oh no.
It's 32
What I
points.
think it is.
32
Oh,
points.
I know what
32
this is.
points. I'm just gonna say who had it high? Lanky had it high. H had it high.
I know what it is.
Monsuno had it first.
No. It's not Mario Circuit 3, is it?
Yes!
That is the worst track in the entire game.
Yeah, so Snez Mario Circuit 3 got 7th on our list.
Top 3 for me.
And it also got 7th on our top 10 worst tracks list.
Yes!
So I'll give it for consistency.
Polar
but fuck
opposite.
all else. This
Polar
track
opposite.
sucks. I hate this track. It's so boring.
It's the most other than I'd say, yeah, it's definitely most boring tracks in the game.
No.
Nothing exciting happens. There's like one shortcut. Wow, the music's okay. The graphics
Wait,
are
did you just
bad.
say there's one shortcut? The entire track is a shortcut,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
There's
the
so
one
much
shortcut.
upfront.
The entire shortcut is one
exactly.
shortcut.
Jesus.
This track is the equivalent of like eating water. It's nothing. Nothing happens.
It's so
It's
bland.
just
Nothing happens.
completely boring.
It's boring.
Like, there's absolutely
Bland.
no point.
It is bland.
It's absolutely bland. It's like
There's squares. There's
how is this at number 7? It was just like a plan. Did you like plan a coup to get this to this high?
No, Monsuno actually really does enjoy it, and to the point where I like wrote an essay in our like Discord server about why this track sucks. Like, if you compare it to the SNES tracks, even in the game, like if you say out here like, oh, it's nice and retro, okay, fair, but like, why is there Donut Plains 3 where they remix and the map and the music and everything?
Yeah.
Why is there SNES or Rainbow Road, which like is not the most exciting Rainbow Road, but like it's actually like remade. There's actual like nice visuals and stuff.
Bowser's
And Bowser's Castle came later in the DLC and is.
I am very confident that we will end up talking about Bowser Castle 3 later. I have a really strong feeling, but if we don't, the existence of Bowser Castle 3 in this game proves that Mario Circuit 3 is trash.
Yeah.
Because if they could do what they did with Bowser Castle 3, they had no excuse to make Mario Circuit 3.
I know it is in Wave 2, but it was actually labeled as the first track in the code of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that they remade for the Booster Course Pass. And you can clearly see why. They were like, oh, hey, we got the assets from Tour. Well, good night, guys. We're not going to do anything with the remix. And we don't need any remix music. And
That's done.
we need to change the map. No.
Just threw it together. Like, that's
last
done.
second, yeah.
Let me be this guy. Even if they remade Mario Circuit 4 or Mario Circuit 1 or Mario Circuit 2, at least, like, even if they did it in the same way, at least it's something new. This same iteration was back in Mario Kart Wii. So it's, for some reason, they like this map. Like, Mario Circuit 4 hasn't even been remade. Like, then it wouldn't have even been that bad, because then it's like a fully new remake, But, like, they were like, oh, no, we'll just take the one from the Wii, and just remake it again.
And at least Mario Circuit 4 has a couple of, like, harder turns and stuff. This is just this track is nothing.
It's
Even
boring.
in the very original Super Mario Kart, this track just blends in. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Okay, the one person
Hazel,
who...
please,
Right,
Hazel,
the
please
circuit
defend
layout
this track.
is really good.
No, it's
There's a
not.
lovely chicane, a long corner, loads of short corners, a very tight hairpin where you need to brake, and if you don't get the line right, you kind of go off. You don't get that tight hairpin with most of the corners in the game. I agree that it doesn't look the best, but the actual layout of the track, the difference where there's a tiny hairpin which you don't get in the rest of the game, makes it a brilliant track to race.
So what you're saying is, if we took the track and put, ooh look, shiny things round it, you'd say people would have it higher?
Yes. I reckon people will have the track higher if they put loads of shiny things around it.
I don't know.
I guess some would agree because it's like visually like kind of lazy. I feel like if they added on the music, it would have helped out a ton. But it's also got something I like to call the dry desert. I don't know, this dry desert. Like the entire track's a shortcut. If you go to customize and put on mushrooms, you're gonna have a blast this track. Then it's one of the most fun tracks in the game because you can like skip half of it. But like
Yeah.
as it is.
I will say the one thing I will say, just relating to like that one hairpin turn, I will say that is the only bit of the track that I like, because at least that requires a little bit of skill.
Yeah.
That is like the only bit of the whole track, though. Like the rest of it is just dull. Like you might as well just like tape down A button and put the controller down. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't
Yeah.
wait to read Monsino's comments.
Yeah.
yeah.
Martino,
That's all I'm
if
saying.
you were
Comment on this
here,
and tell us
I
why
will
we're
read
wrong,
your
and
comment
then we can
and
yell
I
at
will
you.
agree with you.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
we-
guess someone has to.
Yeah, so we move on to I'll take a fifth. There are 2 games and I'll take a fifth today. Both
Okay.
tracks are DLC. Both tracks came in Wave 6.
Okay.
One of those tracks is GameCube.
Okay.
Okay.
DK Mountain.
Yo,
Fifth
we're mounting
place.
DK.
I had it.
That was my number 1 pick. That's the best track in the entire game. Just for the pure nostalgia reasons. I like the Donkey Kong maps. Like there's some of my favourite tracks. Even there's like 2. Well, technically there's 3 now because DK's Mountain, Summit, and Jungle.
Yeah.
All up there for me. Really enjoy them. Love the music. The bridge at the end, I'm not sure about if I like it compared to like the GameCube one,
I
but
prefer
it's
it.
up there. And yeah, I just like the track, and it's one of the best.
Yeah, this was number 6 for me. I really like this track as well. I'm glad they brought this one back. I think
So glad.
I just love the like unique layout of it, of like the kind of similarly to how like Summit does it, where like you start by like getting like shot up to the top of a mountain and then you spend the rest of the track coming down it.
it. Yeah.
I just think it's a really cool layout. I think like it's got enough of like, you know, you need like a good kind of like, you know, decent level of skill for it. There's some like, you know, there's some like fun hazards and turns and stuff, and it looks great as well. I think like by this point in Wave 6, like the tracks in Wave 6 look like they could have been in the base game. You know, like really really tried at this point. So yeah, I really love this track. I'm really glad it made it that high.
I was gonna say, unlike Yoshi Circuit, they've not really removed anything. But
They have.
the only thing that's but not as much as the Yoshi Circuit.
Because in the GameCube one, there's the boulders that come down the mountain.
Yeah, but they've not like removed like more of the track, like the boulders and that. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree, and I don't like the fact that sort of they've put a bit of a fence around the shortcut, so you've got less of a line to get into it,
Yeah.
which makes it a bit more annoying.
I mean, it was quite easy in like Mario Kart Wii
Yeah.
and Double Dash. So maybe that's the reason.
Yeah.
I like they had to remake this one. 'Cause I remember we did a podcast before where we were talking about whether we were gonna get this map
Or Dino. Yeah.
Dino Jala's GameCube track. I think this was the right choice because this is definitely the most popular one from GameCube. I think this is like the most popular one from that entire game when it comes to like just fans in general.
Yeah. I'll take
I
it,
might be
yeah.
wrong on that, but I think so, at least from what I'm seeing. But it's weird. Yeah, exactly. But like, I don't know how to feel about it having this track and some in the same game, as you just said, Jack. Like both of them are like like they're quite different, but like they're both like, oh, you go up the mountain with a rocket and you just go back down. Like
Yeah.
they're both really good, but like having both of them in the same game, in the same DLC is kind of I don't know how
Yeah,
I feel about that. That's
Yeah.
why maybe Dino would have been better, but like if you got this booster course pass, you got all the classes like Coconut Mall, Pinball, like all the fan favorites. Then this is a must-have. But like that's like my only issue with it. Outside of that, like if they really need to change anything, like it's already perfect as is,
Yeah, I think that's why I'm glad that with DK Summit, like we were saying, they kept the half pipes as such a big thing, because the half pipes are what makes Summit feel different to Mountain. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah. But yeah, I do see it from that perspective. Like in terms of like how the layout works, they are both quite similar, but they're also both really, really fun. So I'm just like, you know what? Sure, let's have both.
I'm just glad GameCube actually has a flag of a good track in the after the top 10 worst videos. I'm just glad GameCube's got some love today.
Yeah, is that the first one in the top 10?
No, we did Yoshi Circuit as well. We did Yoshi as well.
Yoshi Circuit, yeah.
But yeah, that was the highest ranking GameCube game on our list.
I just wish they added some of the mushroom tracks.
Yeah, Mushroom Bridge or Mushroom Sea. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like they remade tracks multiple times now with the Boost Course Pass. Like, there's 4 tracks in GameCube they have never remade, which are Mushroom City, Warrior Coliseum, Rainbow Road, and Bowser's Castle.
Yeah.
For the next game, they're only gonna remake tracks they haven't remade yet, and then there's just all bangers right there for you.
Warrior Coliseum is one of like my most wanted tracks that didn't make it. I really wanted that one to make it in, but maybe Mario Kart 9.
Mario Kart Deluxe Ultimate, where they just put everything in and go bang,
and
everything.
the new funky mode.
Yeah, exactly. So
and Knuckles.
Yeah.
And day and night time and weather. Have Mario Circuit free, and then sometimes when you go on it, there's a thunderstorm, and then randomly lightning comes, and then everyone turns tiny. Stuff like that.
I do not want the version of DK Mountain where you're playing it in the middle of a thunderstorm. Or can you imagine Baby Park in the middle of a blizzard? That would be horrible.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, joined with DK Mountain in 5th place. Like I said, it's a Wave 6 track. It's a SNES track.
Okay.
Bowser's Castle 3.
Okay.
There it is.
We've waited nearly like 7, 8, whatever it was, years for a new Bowser's Castle.
Almost 10.
Almost 10 years.
Nearly 10
years for a Bowser's Castle.
Yeah.
We got one. It wasn't what we all wanted, but it's a really good one.
It's really good.
You know what? It might not be the like absolute most wanted Bowser Castle in the whole series, but I'm glad they added this for a number of reasons. I really wanted them to redeem themselves with the SNES tracks, because Mario Circuit 3, as we've already discussed, was not it. Yeah. Also, like, we needed another Bowser Castle track, and I've always had a soft spot for the SNES Bowser Castle tracks as well. I've always thought that I just really like the layout of them. Like, even though they're like, on paper, they're like kind of like, the flat tracks that you get in the rest of Super Mario Kart.
Yeah. It
has really fun hazards to it. It's got like a lot of like tight turns and difficult areas to it. And they remade it so perfectly in this game. Like, I can't express how much I love this track. I had it I can express it because I had it at number 9, so it was very high up for me.
Didn't make my top 10, but it was somewhat close.
Yeah.
I would say I like it that you can drive along the wall, and then you can get off the wall, grab an item, jump back down, round the corner.
My favorite part is that one turn, and you'll all know the turn I'm talking about. The turn where it looks like you're meant to keep going straight towards the castle.
Yes. The first time I played it, I played it, I literally drove off straight every single lap. I thought, this is the way you go.
I love that turn just because even now I still see people online doing it wrong, just driving straight off the track. It makes me laugh every single time.
Yeah.
I feel like from what you were saying, Jack, right there, like this wasn't one of the ones that we all wanted when it comes to Bowser's Castles. Yeah, that's for sure. Like, I feel like when the Boost Course Pass first got announced, everyone knew we were going to get a Bowser's Castle at some point. It came a little late. I don't know when we got 2 Rainbow Roads with only 1 Bowser's Castle, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But like,
do we have now?
Like nearly all.
yeah,
We have 5, I think.
I think,
Yeah, we got 5 rainbows, only 2 Bowser, so which there's somewhat of an imbalance in there, but that's not the point. But like, I feel like if you look at what they did with the GBA remakes, where it feels like they had a concept there,
Yeah.
but they couldn't really execute it all the way through in Mario Kart Super Circuit, and now find it in the Boost Course Pass or Mario Kart 8. It kind of feels like they took that concept and applied it to Bowser's Castle 3. I feel like if you look at Mario Circuit 3, what we were talking about earlier, if you like turn it back the video and look at what we were saying, what was wrong with that track, I feel like every single one of the things that track did wrong, so having no remix, not changing the layout, things like that. I feel like pretty much Bowser's Castle flips all of those minus points to a plus point.
Yeah.
And pretty much just, you know, makes it good, and like it's always a thrilling time with the music and like the turns and everything. Like this feels like a new track. Like it's not one of the ones we wanted, but like at this point, like I looked at the gameplay before it came out, and I was like, I'm not gonna be upset if we get this, and in the end we got it.
My favorite part of the Booster Course Pass throughout almost the whole thing was always the Game Boy tracks, because the Super Circuit tracks, they always went balls to the wall with the Game Boy tracks. They always really took the concept and made it its own thing. They kept the layout, but they really evolved the track around it to the point that it feels like a new experience. And so when we got Mario Circuit 3 and they didn't do that, I was like, why did they do this? Because again, like you said, we have Donut Plains 3 in the main game, which sure, it might not be one of my favorite tracks, but they took the idea and they at least evolved it a bit to actually feel like it belongs in Mario Kart 8. And they didn't do that with Mario Circuit. I'm so glad they did it with this one, because like you said, it feels like a new track.
It does.
It might be the same layout, but it feels like a new thing. So it's really, really good. I love it.
I feel like that's also one of the main reasons why we were so upset earlier, because like we see in this situation how well they can remake a track. And then you see like what they did earlier with Mario Circuit 3, and it's like, if they at least do like at least a smidge of that, and then I don't know.
For Mario Circuit 3, I still agree that if it just made it look so much better, I reckon that would be higher up in people's lists. It might not be top for everyone, but it would definitely be higher.
Because you got to remember with these things, it's just some of these tracks people have been playing for decades, and when you're playing like a new game, you want to feel like you're experiencing something new. And when Mario Circuit 3 comes on, I'm just thinking this is the same track that we've had for like years now, you know. There's nothing different about it at all. Like the layout of it might be, you know, fun enough, but you look at what they did with Bowser Castle 3 and there's no comparison. Like this feels like a totally new take on the concept.
I reckon if they did as much as they did with the Game Boy tracks
on the SNES ones,
MC3 would be number 1.
I mean, I don't know about number 1, but it would be a lot higher up for sure.
So we went up to 4th place, just finishing on our podium positions. 37 points, so 2 points more than SNES Bowser Castle 3. It's the highest ranking non-DLC track on our entire list.
Okay.
It's a Mario Kart 8 track.
I think I know what this is. It's got to be the track I'm thinking of.
It's another mountain.
Yeah, it had to be.
It's Wario's Mountain. Mount Wario, 37 points in 4th spot. Now, this one pretty much won our last video. So
I think
today.
by technicality, this did actually win last time.
Yes, it did.
So yeah, I'm glad to see that I'm glad to see it didn't get forgotten about in all of the new tracks, because like the DLC tracks, like they've added some really amazing tracks, but I'm glad that people remembered how good this track was right out the gate. Like it was beyond any question. Like this was the best track in the original game, like in the base game. Like I love the I love the tracks where it's not just 3 laps of the same course for starters. Like I just love that it's like, you know, it's constantly like, you know, the map's constantly changing. It's never just like the same thing. I think that but there's a lot of points where, like, you know, the hazards are quite tricky. Like I think there's a lot of I think there's some like decent opportunities to kind of like catch up as and when you need it, because there's so many different like you know like boost jumps and like, you know, hazards and stuff. yeah, I think this is just I love this track. I don't know what else to say. I had it number 2.
I number second.
I had a bit lower,
Yeah.
but I had it very much.
I
top
had it
half.
at 92.
Mine was 22, Taylor Swift. But I love it I still love it for the same reasons as Jack. Like, each sector was not really a lap.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's a
They're
different.
really fast corners in some sections, and you get to the second bit and it's like very tight turns. So it feels different every time, which I
Yeah.
like. And definitely, like, with it not being like a round lap, you have to play differently. Like, when you have a banana, it's like, you know, if you're quite far back, what's the point in throwing it backwards? You might as well either throw it forwards or just leave it behind you. There's just no point.
Yeah, unless you
because
have
when
someone
first
right
comes round
behind
again,
you.
it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is something to be said about how having a track that's just one long circuit rather than like 3 laps.
That's
It does
different,
change
yeah.
the way you have to
Let's
play
the
in some
game. Yeah.
instances. Always think is a nice change.
Yeah.
I think Chris has a lot to say about this track.
Yeah, I have a lot to say. That's why I'm so quiet, because like I'm hearing all this praise and stuff. I don't want to be that guy, you know, the pessimists like we had earlier, but like, I haven't seen the light when it comes to this track, and probably never will. But that's yeah, I don't know. It's a good track. I like the theming. I do agree with some of your. When it comes to actually playing this, I'm never really like, oh yes, let me go and play Mount Warrior. I'm always just kind of like, okay, snow tracks. Now when it comes to like DK Summit or something like that, no, maybe it's because you never really the tree section, for example, like it's something different. I don't know. It feels kind of out of place. Same with like a dam, and I don't know. It's just something with me. I don't like it. Maybe it's also thanks to my history with it during like competitive tournaments. Spoiler alert: it never goes well on that map. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really not my favorites in the game when it comes to me personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I somewhat agree with like you two. I also agree with Alcaraz. So, like, I wouldn't pick it if it was a few of the higher tracks. Like, I wouldn't go out my way and go, oh look, it's Mount Mario. But I like it.
Yeah.
I like it more than a lot of the other tracks. But I wouldn't go out my way and be like, oh, I want to go and play it.
Yeah. But it did make our top
that's
3.
fair.
It did get podium. It got 4th place. But the track did
I
get
think 4th
podium.
place. I think 4th place is
respectable
respectable.
for it. But unfortunately enough, 3rd place got 1 more point in 38.
Okay.
Okay, what's that?
It was in the first wave of DLC.
Probably not mine because I don't think
Okay.
there's any more of these types of tracks.
It's another tour track.
Mm,
Obviously, it's not a city one.
no.
Yeah.
Ninja
Hideaway.
Hideaway, yes. Ninja Hideaway,
That
third,
is
number
good.
3.
I was
have-
wondering if this was good.
I
I feel
have
like a
opinions
lot
on
of the like crazy love this track. I was starting to wonder if I was interested to see mate, and here it is,
Really
Yeah.
died off.
and it's overtaken Mount Warrior.
I don't know. This track has been very start. I feel like this is also the main reason on like why like
Oh,
if you look at like tour originals, this is pretty much what set the standards, and like
Yeah.
I can see why certain people don't like it, because if it's like your first time playing this map, like I'm not going to lie, first time played this map, I ran into more walls than I've probably ever ran into ever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it feels like a Mario Kart Wii track. Mario Kart Wii track. If back there in Mario Kart, like crazy shortcuts you could do that took like a lot of risks, and if you really knew the game, you would have kind of an advantage. Now, in the base game Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I would personally say there's not really too many tracks where it's like, oh, if you're more skillful, you're really gonna have an advantage on this track.
Yeah.
Like, there's a small shortcut, but outside of that, if you know what you're doing on this map, you're gonna have such. That's why I personally really like it. I think the theming is really cool with the Shy Guys and everything. I think the music
Yeah.
is quite nice, and.
Yeah.
Visually, even compared to the other Wave 1 tracks, it was very, very nice. But like the thing is, it's just, you know, a unique setting. It was like the first like fully new non-retro cores outside like the tour ones that we got since like the original Mario Kart 8 DLC in 2015.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped. But like, if you really know this track, They're gonna do so good. That's why I love it. That's why I always pick.
I think it just barely missed out for me. I think out of all 96 tracks, I think more than any track, this one really rewards knowing the game and being good. Like it really rewards skill-based play.
It does.
Like, and for some people, that is going to be amazing. Like, I'm not the best Mario Kart player. I can keep up with people, but I don't win consistently.
Yeah.
But even I can totally understand why there's so much love for this track, because it's just more than anything, the amount of different routes and shortcuts you can take, the skill level you need to do well in this track. Like it's just, I don't think there's anything else like it in Mario Kart 8.
But
here we go. What?
What's awful opinion is
I like the track.
I'm
I
sorry.
really like the track.
Right.
But I had to put it low.
Why? Because you're not skilled enough to play Ninja Hideaway.
No. Online is slowly becoming Yoshi Valley syndrome, and it's very annoying. People are starting to know that the downstairs route's quicker. Not many people are taking the upstairs route, and it's just like everyone's taking the same route, and it just. The problem of having so many different routes is when people find the quickest way round it, it just spoils it a little bit.
I would argue though that with this track specifically, like Yoshi Valley, like the best route in Yoshi Valley is also like fairly easy to take as well. Like the only bit of skill is the narrow at the start.
Which
in this track, like even you still need a deep skill to consistently be able to route because of like the turns and like the different hazards. Agree with you that sometimes if you take the same route over, come on, but like I think because of the skill to do it, I think it works better.
That is, I mean,
a good point when it comes to Yoshi Valley. Like 6 paths don't matter, or how many there are. And it's kind of the same with Ninja Hideaway. I do agree that the track design really suffers thanks to them. But yeah, from what Jack was saying, like there's a clear difference when it comes to scale in both tracks. Like there's more like shortcuts on Yoshi Valley, especially the one at the end, which is huge. Which you don't really have on Ninja Hideaway, which has its advantages. But yeah, it would have been nice if like both like the upper and lower ways were like balanced so that they would be somewhat the same. But as it stands, it's kind of inconsistent.
I mean,
what's nice about Ninja Hideaway is like, sure, there is like one way you can do a great shortcut at the end, but you have to have the right item and you have to get the timing spot on to be able to like jump that corner at the end. So like that's something you can't consistently do. So like that again rewards players who are skilled, whereas like in something like Cheeseland, like anybody can win. You just need to have a mushroom from the last item box and you win at Cheeseland every time.
Different, but I somewhat agree with like all of you. Like the Yoshi Valley has significantly made it lower for me, but it's still 10 points above Yoshi Valley.
I'm glad. I feel like a lot of people like we got 5 more wins, and I worried that some people have forgotten about it. But I'm glad it's still up here.
Top 2.
Number 2.
47 points, 9 points more than Ninja Hideaway. Did anyone have this track first place?
No, because...
No, they didn't. No one had this track first, but it got second place. I don't think anyone had it second. No.
So not a single person out of everybody you asked had it first or second?
No, 2 people had it second.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 people did.
It's a DLC track.
Well, I guess that.
A 3DS track.
Yeah.
Rainbow Road.
Yes.
3DS one.
Oh, Rainbow Road.
3DS
okay.
Rainbow Road got second place on our list.
I had this number 1. This was my number 1.
It was your number 1.
Yeah, this was my number 1. Rainbow Road 3DS.
I take it back. You did have this first.
This is...
I love this track, and I'm really, really glad that of all the Rainbow Roads, like they chose to bring this one back. I think they really I think before this, most of the Rainbow Roads were just driving on a rainbow, and it might have been difficult turns with no rails or anything. But I think the 3DS one was the first one that really took the concept and were like, what could we do with this to make this really unique? And I think Yeah, I just think this track goes so hard. I think the music is great. I think it looks great. It looks absolutely gorgeous, like in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as well. Like, so not all of the DLC tracks can boast that, but I think this track looks incredible.
Yeah.
Different, like, I love like the section where like you have, like the high up path above the moon, where like, the longer you can stay on the path, the like it rewards you for being able to stay on the path longer, and like. Again, I like that it's a section track and not a lap-based track. Yeah. I just think there's so much to love about this. I think for me, it is my favorite Rainbow Road in the series. So I'm really glad it came back.
1000% agree with everything on that. Didn't make my top 10, but it was getting there. But it's definitely the best Rainbow Road in the game, and I love that it's sectioned. It's different to the other Rainbow Roads as well.
Yeah.
I would say that this is like the track that benefits the most from being in Mario Kart 8 out of any of the Rainbow Roads they ended up putting in. Because like, if you look back to Mario Kart 7, this feels more like a Mario Kart 8 track than a Mario Kart 7 track. Where you look at like the track design and like, you're on the moon. Like, if you look at Lunar Colony, for example, that they added in with the battle maps back during Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as well. That was basically, that always made me think of the moon section from, 3DS Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
I do agree with you guys. I think the remix is very nice. I like how they ended up adding the different versions as well. I think there's a few sections, and I feel like lap 3 suffers from that the most, where you're kind of just driving forward. Like, it definitely feels like you're on a journey and everything, but if you look at like lap 3, you got the cool loop-de-loop, but once you're off there, you just kind of go forward.
Yeah.
And then there's like nothing going on. There's like one more final turn and trick, but like there's nothing going on there. Like that part seems a little empty.
Yeah, no, I agree. That sort of like last bit is definitely the weakest part of the track, because it's like it's kind of after like the sort of like loopy kind of bit, it kind of just stops, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I do agree. That's like the one thing I don't like about the track.
It's not really the worst thing. It would have been nice if there was a little more going on, but it doesn't really break the track or anything. I don't know personally if I like this more than Wii Rainbow Road or N64. I think all three of those are very strong, but I'm really happy that this was like the first like Rainbow Road they brought back. Because I feel like if you look at Mario Kart 8's Rainbow Road, which I feel like isn't really that strong, I feel like they tried to do the same thing as they did back during Mario Kart 7. Kind of failed because that's more of a stale track. I feel like the track I really wanted to, but they couldn't get it back straight away because it was literally in the last game before then. Was 3DS Rainbow Road, so it's really good they ended up bringing it back because it takes a lot for Mario Kart 8 to make it even better purely because of it being on the Switch rather than on the 3DS.
Yeah, exactly. Like the fact that again, like you said, like this track really like the fact that it has anti-gravity now because of Mario Kart 8. It feels like it was designed to always have anti-gravity.
Yeah.
So I think more than anything, like you said, I think this track really benefits from being back and like see the argument of Rainbow Road Wii. I actually had that at number 5 on my list, so that was also very high up. It's like it was neck and neck between the two. But I got so much love for 3DS that this was my number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best Rainbow Road. I love it, but that last section just pushes it out of the top 10 for me.
Slightly.
If it just had like one more thing, just one more little like hazard or trick or something, like on that like last turn maybe, like something extra that was just going on there, I think that would make it better.
Definite.
Yeah, if it wasn't as long, because it always feels kind of long, because like if you don't have any items, there's not really anything that's gonna be different. Like if it at least had like one enemy there, like it didn't even need much, but there's just one thing, then it would have been even better. But like that's just looking at like how good the rest of the track is,
Yeah, exactly.
So we move on to number 1 spot. Do you want an interesting fact first?
What?
I said previously no one had this first. No one had this first either. Nobody had this track first.
I had the last one first.
I have double checked 3 times. No one has this first. 3 people have it second.
Not me.
It's got 60 points, so it's got 13 more points than 3DS Rainbow Road. It's a Wii track.
Okay.
Is this what I think it is?
What do you think it is, Jack? Before we give
Out of interest, were we talking about it about 10 seconds ago?
We might have been, yeah. Rainbow Road. Wii Rainbow Road's one. Wii Rainbow Road's the best track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Wii Rainbow Road.
60 points. Melissa had it third. I think a lot of people had it high. Who had it second? Monsuno, Hawks, and Foss had it second. A lot of people had it. Sprang had it fourth. A lot of people had it really high. A lot of people most people had it on their list, to be fair. So yeah, number one.
Bearing in mind, I had a 3DS one at 14th.
Yeah.
I had this one at 21st.
Yeah.
I like it, but not as much as
Yeah.
You know, I had this at number 5. I think you couldn't have asked for a better track to end the Booster Course Pass on. It was always going to end on a Rainbow Road, and I don't think they could have chosen a better one than this because of how much of a fan favorite this track has always been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like because of that as well, we all kind of knew that we were gonna, since we already got the 3DS one, we were all kind of like, yeah, the last one's probably gonna be Rainbow Road.
Yeah. Well, at this point, there's only 3 Rainbow Roads not in the game: the DS one, the GameCube one, and the Game Boy one. That's it. All the other ones
they'll
are
all be
in.
there soon, probably.
That's it. And I would say.
I mean, you always get a retro Rainbow Road, so I reckon we'll get one of those in Mario Kart 9.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for Super Circuit. I want them to deluxe it up like they have with the Game Boy tracks in this one.
What if they do Ultimate and just put every single track in the game?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Just every Rainbow Road all at once.
There'll be a Rainbow Road Cup.
A Rainbow Road Cup. You can have 2 Rainbow Road Cups.
Yes, you can.
But yeah, Wii Rainbow Road, it was up there for me. I really do enjoy it. I like the music. It's great. I like, I do prefer the actual like 3-lap tracks than the long ones. But that's just my personal thing. That's why I like it above 3DS. Other than that, they're probably on par, to be honest.
Yeah.
I love that it like keeps like the kind of like half pipe section and like. Yeah, I think the music's great. I think it also looks amazing. Just like the 3DS one does.
I love the fact that it's so stupid, but I love it so much that like at the starting line, you got like the railings, but it's like open, like where you're starting at.
Yeah.
And like the first time I played on this map, I wasn't paying attention and I didn't do the startup correctly. And I played Bowser Jr., you know, so there was like this heavy weight that just ran into me and I just threw it off the map. But that's like Rainbow Road 101 right there. And that's something it does really great. It doesn't have railings everywhere. It does feel like it has more railings than back during Wii, but that may just be my feeling. But I don't know. I feel like this track is really good. It already was in Wii. I personally think the Wii one is still better. I feel like that engine just fits the track a lot better.
Yeah.
It makes sense that it's fully in anti-gravity, but because of that, it makes the track easier because you got more time to like land and such. That made it in Wii a lot more difficult. I think it's quite good. Personally speaking, I think the N64, Wii, and 3DS ones are on par. They all do different things that the others don't do well. Outside of that, it's Wii Rainbow Road. Like, what needed to be changed? I think it's really cool how they made it so that if you fall off, you like go all the way down. I don't feel like it's the best track like in the game. That's why I feel like that's maybe why it's not a number 1. And that's also because there's like no shortcuts. Like if you're behind on this map, I don't know how you're gonna make it back even with a shock dodge. It's really difficult. But it is really, really good.
I think that might be the only thing that is working against it for me is the lack of shortcuts. I think that's the only thing that, for me, bumps it below 3DS Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
Not the 3DS Rainbow Road is brimming with shortcuts either, but like.
I was about to say, I don't think it has any either.
I don't think it has any either. But, but no, this is a really just iconic track, isn't it? I love that they've still incorporated the half pipe and stuff, and just. There's a lot to love about it. And again, I had it at number 5, so it's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, I had it 5 as well.
Definitely the 2 best choices if they were going to bring back 2
Rainbow Roads.
These 2
had to be these 2. But yeah, that was our top 10. The Wave 6 had Wii Rainbow Road, SNES Bowser's Castle 3, DK Mountain. I think that's it. Yeah, three of the top 5 were Wave 6.
They really did. They really were just like, let's save some of the best courses for last. Like,
they really did.
They really just went ham with Wave 6.
I also feel like there may be a little bit of recency bias at play. Like, I know those tracks are really good, but like there's some other ones where I can't think of where I'm like, maybe they could have been in there if we made this a little later. But
that's true. You do.
But Wave 6 was clearly the best wave, though. I do agree.
Yeah.
Wave 6 was the best wave, I think. But yeah, I definitely think it could be some recency bias.
Yes.
Like there's some tracks that we've had for a long time that I would have expected to maybe show up. Like I was expecting maybe to see like Big Blue or Drag.
Driftway. Yeah.
I love how the two you did mention were on my. Just saying.
Yeah.
Little Big number 7 and Dragon Driftway I had at 11. So like...
Yeah. So I'm looking at my list now. I'm only 4 of the tracks we've talked about were on my list.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah, no,
many
I
either.
have,
Only like 3.
I had 7.
3.
Yeah, so
I didn't
I
have.
had 3.
I had Electrodrome at 10. I've always just had a soft spot.
Electrodome. Did love a bit of Electrodome, yeah. Yeah.
Big Blue at 7.
Yeah.
Waluigi Pinball at 4.
Nice. Good
So those
track.
are the only ones that didn't make it for me.
Mine, I had Yoshi Island last. We talked about Yoshi Island. I had Wario's Gold Mine 9th. I'm surprised that didn't get kind of high up. Because I know that was
Yeah,
very high
Wario's
up
Gold
for
Mine
mine.
as well.
I had PP Cove. No, PP Cove wasn't up there.
No.
Oh yeah.
PP.
Maple Treeway.
I had Mushroom
Here either,
Gorge.
I
We
thought
talked
that might have
Mushroom
gone.
Gorge just missed out.
Love.
I put Toad's Harbour. That wasn't up there either. I've got a soft spot for Snowland. That wasn't there
Totally.
either.
That just missed my top 10. That was 11.
And I'm a weirdo and I like DK Jungle. I put that 3rd, but I wasn't expecting it to be high. But I do like DK Jungle.
I mean, you do like the Donkey Kong character, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I just love the
you are
DK
a
track.
bit of a DK.
I am.
You are a bit of a Kong stan.
I'm very much a Kong stan.
But,
I am.
I think I do agree there might be a bit of recency bias. But having said that, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that top 10. Apart from Mario Circuit 3.
Yeah,
Yeah. Apart from that, I'm
Mario
happy with that
Circuit
list.
3, I think that's a respect. Apart from that, I think it's a respectable
think
top
it's
10.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
but I'm
I
also
think
glad-
you're right on the recency bias because I'm just looking for my list and I was looking at it from more of a neutral perspective and I got like a bunch of like base game tracks like N64 Rainbow Road, Mute City. I'm looking for this Animal Crossing, Super Bell Subway, Dragon Driftway. Like, I'm like those could have been in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my top 10, most of my top 10 were DLC tracks, but I mean, if we extend it to 15, I had Mount Wario, I had Big Blue, I had Electrodrome, Dragon Driftway, Toad Harbor, and Excite Bike all in my top 15. So, for me, I had quite a lot of like base game tracks quite high up. But
I'm just surprised
yeah.
Baby Park didn't come here. That's what I'm happy about.
it must have. How many points did it get? Because it must have been close, just as a protest vote, right?
Baby Park. Let me go. I'm still scrolling.
I put it 24.
I'm still scrolling.
Really?
Baby
Maybe
Park.
I'm wrong then.
Baby
Makes
Park.
sense. It wasn't on the worst list, right?
Do you want a fun fact check? Baby Park didn't get a single point.
Really? Oh my god.
It didn't.
That's
It did not.
amazing. That's like.
I wanted to choose Dolphin Shoals for the funny, but
Oh my god. I think Dolphin Shoals is like in my top 5 worst. Like my personal top 5 worst.
Dolphin Shoals got 8 points in 44th place.
that was definitely newbie. Just saying.
Oh my god.
My worst 3 tracks at the minute.
Yeah.
TikTok, which will always be the bottom. It's just boring.
Never understand that.
Boring. There's not much corner variety. There's not really.
How do you say
short
TikTok
track.
Clock is boring and you like SNES Barrier Circuit 3?
Because SNES Barrier Circuit. Because
This video is already an hour and a half long.
because the track is boring.
Oh my
That's
god.
what I think is boring.
Oh my
Excite Bike
God.
because it's just an oval. Baby Park at least has a bit of chaos.
Look,
And Sky High.
if they
This list was fake. Vancouver was number 1.
Yeah.
Very quickly, my top 10.
Here we go.
Just missed out with Snowland at 11. 10 is New York. First Night Race, Variety of Corners. Berlin, Like the Wall. 8, London Loop.
number 10 is New York.
Like
and
the
Crystal
Variety
Leaves.
and changes each lap. DK Mountain 7. 8, Bowser's Castle is 6th. DP3 is 5th. Sydney 4th. MC3 is 3. Paris Promenade 2 and Rome of Anti number 1. Love that.
I love how you got Mario Circuit 3 on number 3. I really like
Yeah.
that.
Roman Van your number 1. I can't think of a more forgettable track.
I didn't like Rome at all.
I loved it. There were so many corners.
Roman
There
Van
were-
like 5 that you could just blend all together and I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's just so many corners. It's just such fun. If I had that, but I had like better surroundings.
Better surrounded. Right. To end the video,
Always just better surroundings, yeah.
Yeah, it's always better surroundings. So just to reiterate our top 10, top 15 list anyway. Joint 13th, we had Yoshi Island, Singapore Speedway, and Coconut Mall. 12th spot was Sunshine Airport. Joint 10th was DK Summit and Yoshi Circuit. Then we had Squeaky Clean Sprint in 9th, Sydney Sprint in 8th, SNES Mario Circuit 3 in 7th. I'll take a 5th with SNES Bowser's Castle 3 and DK Mountain. 4th was Mountain Wario. 3rd was Ninja Hideaway. 2nd was 3DS Rainbow Road. And 1st was Wii Rainbow Road. So, yeah, a lot of Rainbow Road love. What Wave 6 love. Let us know in the comments.
I think that.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments
right.
what you would have put first and why it's not SNES Mario Circuit 3. Thank you for Jack, H, and Alchris for joining me today. Make sure you check out everyone's links in the description, or just Alchris' links, all my links as well. Huzzah. We'll be back with another top 10. I don't know what it'll be this time, but let us know in the comments what you want to see next. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one.
See you later. Very respectable.
Bye.
Goodbye.